So hello everyone, I am Onik and welcome to Biophoenix. Here we upload regular videos about NCERT biology for NEET aspirants, and here we have created separate playlist of different chapters in different languages to better understand biology. So without any further delay, let's get started. So today in this video we will discuss about tissue system. Previously I talked about tissue. Tissue is a group of cells having a common function and a common origin. So just like this, tissue system is actually a system made with several tissues and they are doing a common function. So here it is, large unit of tissues having a common function are called tissue system. Okay, so to learn more about tissue, check out our previous videos. I will give those video links in the description box. Now on the basis of their structure and location, there are three types of tissue system we can see. First one is epidermal tissue system. Epidermal tissue system, it forms the outermost covering of a plant. Here you can see it is just like a outermost covering of a plant body. So this is known as epidermal tissue system. Okay, so now moving to the number 3, vascular or conducting tissue system. Vascular or conducting tissue system, it consists complex conducting tissue like xylem and phloem. Vascular tissue system consists complex conducting tissue like xylem and phloem. So this is the part of vascular tissue system and this is the part of epidermal tissue system. Okay, now the second one is ground tissue system. Ground tissue system is all that remaining part between the vascular tissue system and epidermal tissue system. So this remaining part is ground tissue system. Okay, so now we have to read about them one by one. Now what we know about epidermal tissue system? We know it forms the outermost covering of a plant. Where we can see some structures like epidermal cells, stomata, epidermal appendages. Epidermal appendages examples are trichomes and hairs. So we can see some structures like this, and now we have to study about these structures. So first is epidermal cells. Here the cells are compactly arranged. That means there is no intercellular space between the cells, and which forms a continuous layer. Okay, so cells are compactly arranged and which form a continuous layer. Now epidermis is usually single layered. Here you can see the dermal tissue or the epidermal tissue have a single layer of cell, but in ground tissue or in vascular tissue we can see several layers of cells. Okay, in vascular tissue and in ground tissue we can see several layers of cells. So you have to remember this, epidermis is only single layered. Now epidermal cells are actually parenchyma cells, and they have small amount of cytoplasm lining and large vacuoles. Here you can see this is a epidermal cell, and in this cell we can see a large vacuoles, this part, and a cytoplasm, small cytoplasm lining, this green color part. Okay, so they are made with parenchyma cells. Those cells have small lining of cytoplasm and large vacuoles. So in the epidermal cells, in the outermost covering, this is the epidermal cell, and this is the inner surface, and this is the outer surface. In the outer surface, the epidermis is often covered with waxy thick layer called cuticle. Okay, cuticle, here you can see cuticle is present in the outer surface of epidermal cells. Cuticle is impermeable for water, and the function of cuticle is to prevent water loss, and it keeps some parts of the plant moist. Okay, so we can see cuticle over the outermost layer of epidermal tissue. Now the question is, why cuticle is absent from roots? Okay, we all know that roots must be able to absorb water from the soil for survive. But with the presence of cuticle, they will not be able to absorb water from the soil. So that is why they are absent from the roots. Now we will talk about stomata. Stomata are structures present in the epidermis of leaves. Stomata are structures present in the epidermis of leaves. It regulates the process of transpiration and gaseous exchange. Each stomata is composed of two bean-shaped cells known as guard cell. Okay, so each stomata is composed of two bean-shaped cells known as guard cells. Here you can see a guard cell. So each stomata have two guard cells which encloses the stomatal pore. Okay, so guard cells help to enclose the stomatal pore. This hollow space is known as stomatal pore. This pore is enclosed by the guard cells. In the grasses, the guard cells are dumbbell shaped. In grasses, guard cells are dumbbell shaped. Here you can see dumbbell shaped guard cell. Okay, so in grasses they are dumbbell shaped, and in normal angiosperm they are bean shaped. Now the outer walls of guard cells means the wall away from the stomatal pore are thin. Okay, outer wall, that means this wall which is away from the stomatal pore are thin, and the inner wall, that means towards the stomatal pore, is thick. So this is thick wall and this is a thin wall. Okay, so the outer wall is thin and the inner wall is thick. This is all about guard cells. Now we have to know about stomatal apparatus. Stomatal apparatus made up with three things. First one is stomatal aperture or stomatal pore. Second one is guard cells, and the third one is subsidiary cells. Okay, so first one is stomatal aperture or stomatal pore. Is actually a opening on the surface of lips. Okay, here you can see a opening. This opening is known as stomatal aperture or stomatal pores. It helps in gaseous exchange and in transpiration. Next one is guard cells. Guard cells, we already know about guard cells. Previously I talked about guard cells. Now, and the last one is subsidiary cells. Subsidiary cells, they are located next to guard cells. Here you can see subsidiary cell. This is the subsidiary cell, and this, they are located next to guard cells, and also we called it a accessory cell. Okay, also we called this cell is a accessory cell, and they support the guard cell functions. Okay, the functions of subsidiary cells is to support the guard cells function. So this is all about stomatal apparatus. It consists three things: stomatal aperture, guard cells, and subsidiary cells. Now we will read about epidermal appendages. Here you can see two types of hair. One is root hair and another one is stem hair. Stem hair is also known as trichomes. Stem hair is also known as trichomes. Now the root hairs are unicellular and elongated. And the hairy portion is actually the extension of wall. The hairy portion is actually the extension of cell wall. Okay, so that is why these are unicellular. This is the extended part. Okay, so you can see root hair here. You can see the root hair, and on the stem the epidermal hairs are called trichomes. Here you can see epidermal hairs. This is the hairy portion, epidermal hairs. They are multicellular. They are not unicellular like the root hairs. They may be branched or may be unbranched. And they may be secretory also. Okay, they may be secretory also, and it helps in prevent the water loss due to transpiration. So this is all about epidermal tissue system, and this is for today. We will discuss the other two tissue system in the next video.